I will jump that fence and fight every here, Joe.
That's a very separate issue, a black man using that word to a black man, than what I'm about to talk about.
Yes, it is.
Let's keep it right here for this moment. That's an issue you can address that I cannot address, Stephen A. I don't know what that feels like, but I do know this issue. And to me, this is strictly my personal opinion. I would have cut Riley Cooper on the spot yesterday. As you just pointed out, I have said many times on this show, over many years on this show, that word that he used is the ugliest, most vile, despicable, unconscionable word in the English language. And when it comes out of a white man's mouth, he has crossed a line over which you cannot return. So in this case, Stephen A., you've crossed a line, especially that you can't cross back when you are the member of a pro football team, as you pointed out, on which more than half the players in that locker room are African Americans. And I realize he apologized, and I realize that you took it as a sincere apology. I don't think you can apologize as a white man for using that word, because you have, to me, shown your, so to speak, true colors. You have declared yourself. And I know some people were saying last night, well, he had been drinking. Okay, maybe that was truth serum. Well, he was at a Kenny Chesney country western concert. Well, he was in a comfort zone, even though he had an altercation with a, as he said, a black security guard. He felt very comfortable around his people to let that word spill out of his mouth. Maybe before cell phone video, he could have gotten away with it, but he did not get away with this one this time, Stephen A. And to me, I'm sure that Michael Vick, Jason Avant, D'Amico Ryans, all that we saw on camera on SportsCenter saying he's a good dude, we've known him for these years, and we like him, and we accept his apology. I get that. But deep down, I think you will agree with me, Stephen A., all the black players in that locker room have to be a little uneasy going forward with Riley Cooper in that locker room. So I'm going to say, for the sake of team unity and team chemistry, that the three primary decision makers on the Philadelphia Eagles, the owner, the GM, the coach, all three of whom are white, should have gotten together yesterday and said, we have to clear this air. No matter that we have lost Jeremy Maclin and all of a sudden Riley Cooper is a little more valuable than he was a couple days ago, no matter that, it will be more valuable for the sake of our locker room to dismiss him from this team. Because to me, to discuss his suspension is almost insignificant. It pales in comparison to what this issue is and the line that he crossed. I'm sorry, Stephen A. I would have said, you are gone. Whether you apologize for 5 days in a row, you are gone, and we will be better off without that in our locker room. That's my personal opinion.
And using the word is entirely different than somebody outside of our community spewing it in our direction. I don't have to explain it to anybody. Get over it. That's the way it is, okay? Riley Cooper was wrong. He made a mistake. He's got to deal with the brothers inside that Eagles locker room. Make no mistake about it.
I've been in those locker rooms for years, and I've seen two black players use that term back and forth as a term of endearment, as a bonding word, a cultural bond. We've been through this. We're going through this. Now, again, would your forefathers like you using that word? Probably not. You cannot tell me that because a white player often hears two black players refer to themselves as that word between each other, that encourages the white player then to use that word as a hate word. No. Because you're not using it black to black as a hate word. You're not using it out of anger at each other. When you get mad at somebody, you're not going to use that. I'm sorry, 2 + 2 don't equal 4 to me. Well, that's a hate word. That is declaring what's in your heart, that you have racism in your heart. I'm sorry, that's what it is. for a white man.
Skip,
if you were in a locker room and you heard one white player refer to another white player as a fun term, as a loving term, as a teammate term, a term of endearment, hey, N-word, you know what I'm talking about. Would you be offended by that?
Skip, not only would I be offended by that, I have been offended by that. And when I saw a white player do that, I rolled up right on him and I said, my man, that ain't cool.
It ain't
Don't
cool.
you ever let me hear you say that again in my presence. I said, and this is not a reporter talking to you. This is a black man who happens to be a reporter in your face telling you that ain't cool. Don't do it again. I won't tell you who that player is, but I can assure you I've seen him many times, and he's never said that in my presence again.
And I'm pretty sure the black players on that team that you're talking about, they wouldn't love it.
No, and